it's Miss Emily back in my kitchen to show you a fun, exciting kitchen science experiment today. St. Patty's Day has come and gone, and with spring just around the corner, I thought it would be fun if we tried to grow our own rainbow. So I'm going to tell you what we need to do this, and then I'm going to get started and show you what you have to do. To start, you are going to need some paper towel. You're going to need some absorbent paper towel. I have these half sheets here. You can use whatever you have at home. You're going to eventually fold them in half. You're going to need washable markers. They do have to be washable markers. Don't try using permanent markers or Sharpies, so some good Crayola washable markers. You're going to need a pair of scissors for something very quick. If you are a younger one, you're going to want to have adult supervision, but you're going to need a pair of scissors. And you are going to need 2 identical, same size cups that are 3/4 of the way full with water. I have these 2 largemouth coffee mugs. If you have something clear, you'll be able to see what's happening inside. And then you're going to need something to draw on so you don't draw on your mom's table, because they probably wouldn't like that very much. So I just have a regular old paper plate, and that's what you're gonna do. So to start, you're going to take your paper towel and just fold it right in half. Simple as that, just fold it in half. If you want to be precise with this, it should be about 7.5 inches long. I don't want to break out a ruler, so I'm just going to do a little cutting action and say, hey, that looks good enough to me. But you want to cut it so your paper towel's a little bit shorter. The shorter your paper towel, the easier this is going to be for the colors to grow. So you don't want to leave it too long, because otherwise it's going to take forever for your rainbow. So I cut off about this much, 7.5 inches if you want to get fancy. And then you're going to take your markers and you're going to start coloring. Now I already started this because I didn't want you to have to sit through watching me color, but you're going to start coloring on each end of your paper towel. And you want to make sure that you add a lot of ink. You don't want to add too much so that you're ripping the paper, but you don't want it to be too light that there's not enough on there for the capillary action, that's a big word, but the capillary action to take place. So you're gonna put it on both ends. So I did the first side. You want it all to be pretty much the same across. And then you're gonna do the other side, which is also going to be about the same across. So you'll see I'm really pushing down on my marker. I wanna make sure I fill in all those little holes. And you want the colors to line up. So I have my red on this end, so I want red to be on this side. I'm using all the colors of a rainbow, minus that tricky indigo. We don't have any indigo here in our house. And that's a little joke. I'm coloring it in. If you wanted to throw in some pink, you could probably throw in some pink. If you don't have the rainbow colors, you could use whatever color marker you have. Make your own fancy rainbow. Color, color, color. You don't want to go too hard so you rip your paper towel, because then you'd have to start all over. And I'm trying really hard not to start all over. And you want the size of your rectangles to be pretty much the same on both sides. So you don't want like a really fat red on one side and a really skinny red on the other. You want them to be relatively the same. So when your rainbow starts growing, your colors don't start mixing. My paper towel got crinkled in. Okay, so you can put aside your messy paper towel now, and you can put aside your marker. They'll actually do this so they don't roll off the table. And you can see they're kind of the same on each side. Then you're going to take your paper towel and you're going to kind of fold it in half. It doesn't have to have like a sharp crease or anything. And you're going to put it into your water. Now your water needs to be about 3/4 of the way full in your cup. And you only want to put a little bit of the end of your paper towel in. You don't want to sink all of this color into the water because it won't work. So what I recommend doing is putting one side in first and then the other side. So that way, if you need to, you can start pulling the cups apart a little bit. And you'll see that the colors are starting to grow. So that's part of our growing a rainbow. And this, I'm going to use one of my extra paper towels here, is a great example of chromatography. That's a big word with a lot of letters, but chromatography is a great example of a way that colors separate and mix within the chemicals. And then the capillary action, which is tiny little, we'll call them holes, is what is making all of the marker dye start racing up your paper towel. So as you can see, the colors are starting to run. And if you can get in there, you'll see that my paper towel is not very far in. We don't want it to go too far into the water. If it goes too far into the water, you're just gonna dye your water. We don't wanna just dye the water. We want it to race up our paper towel. Now in total, this is gonna take you probably about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how thick you color in that paper towel. The thicker the dye, the quicker it's gonna run once it hits that water. But it's gonna take you anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes for it all to start running. I'm gonna pull this back a little bit. I did one of these experiments a little bit earlier, and I will slide that over and show you that your water's gonna look a little gross where all the color mixed, but eventually you will have grown your own rainbow. It's pretty neat. Once your rainbow forms, you can pull this out of the water, lay it on a cookie sheet to dry, and then you could always do something with your rainbow once you're done. But you have to wait until it gets all the way to the top. But after that, you've grown your own rainbow. Add a little sunshine and you're all set. I hope you have fun making your rainbows, and until next time, bye friends.